radiyo Imanzi 105.1 FM twese hamwe birashoboka.
We got you updated. This is Radio Imanzi News in English.
You are tuned to Radio Imanzi, broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English, brought to you by Fiona Umuganwa and Sandra Nshuti. The headlines. President Paul Kagame today received Minister President of Rhineland-Palatinate and the President of Parliament of Rhineland-Palatinate. The Rwanda Cultural Heritage Academy is to unveil documents recorded during colonial period as we celebrate a World Day for Audiovisual Heritage. Developing countries lose over $11 billion annually through illegal fishing, according to Financial Transparency Coalition. China has started administering an inhalable COVID-19 vaccine. Welcome back. News in detail. President Paul Kagame today received Malu Dreyer, Minister President of Rhineland-Palatinate, and Hendrik Herring, President of Parliament of Rhineland-Palatinate, who are in Rwanda for the 40th anniversary of the partnership between Rwanda and Rhineland-Palatinate. They discussed the success of the partnership in sectors of education, health, among others, as well as opportunities for collaboration in new areas, including sports and renewable energy. The Commissioner General for Rwanda Correctional Service, CGP Juvenal Madizamunda, and his delegation are on a 5-day visit in Florida, US, to participate in the International Corrections and Prisons Association annual meeting. This year's theme, Excelling Beyond the Old Normal, Corrections After the Global Pandemic, is seeing discussions around strategy and reform in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, innovations in community corrections, digital change strategies for reducing reoffending, creating effective correctional and rehabilitative cultures and human rights, among others. In 2015, the RCS was awarded an international trophy in recognition for protecting the environment by effective use of biogas in Rwanda's prisons. Rwanda is also set to host the International Corrections and Prisons Association Conference in 2015, becoming the second African country to do so after Namibia, which hosted it in 2014. Rwanda Cultural Heritage Academy to unveil documents recorded during colonial period as we celebrate World Day for Audiovisual Heritage. Sandra Nshuti has more on this report.
The day is celebrated every October 27, was chosen by UNESCO in 2005 to raise awareness in the significance of recorded sound and audiovisual documents. The sounds and songs will be played on 29th October are part of the 4,000 audiovisual documents that RCHA received from the Belgium Envoy to Rwanda, Bedversmans, under a Belgian project called Share in October 2021. The audiovisual documents, which were recorded from the early 1950s until 2000, are accompanied by a detailed inventory highlighting titles of sounds and songs, specifying the place of recording and the ritual function of these documents. The Director General of Rwanda Cultural Heritage Academy, Robert Masozera, has said the documents belong to all Rwandans and they will be shared on all social media platforms to help Rwandans all over the world access them. The sounds will benefit historians and musicians who will be able to learn more about ancient Rwanda. Rwanda government has made official requests for repatriation of more archives held in different countries, including Belgium. Back to you, Fiona.
Thank you, Sandra. Dr. Yvonne Kaite-Shonga, Division Manager of the Mental Health Division at Rwanda Biomedical Center, has called for more awareness to tackle stigma and discrimination against people struggling with mental health issues. She said this during an event to mark the World Mental Health Day at national level under the theme Make Mental Health and Well-Being a Global Priority in Rubavu District today. Kaite Shonga highlighted that stigma and discrimination continue to be a barrier to social inclusion and access to the right mental health care. She said everyone can have a mental health issue, but when you battle it and find nobody to comfort you, to listen to you and take you to the hospital or health worker who can offer help, you become a patient. Stigma and discrimination against a person struggling with mental health issues make people fear accessing mental health services that are available. Although more awareness is still needed, the Ministry of Health and RBC have been raising awareness countrywide, especially in the month of October, which is globally designated as Mental Health Awareness Month. Kaite Shonga said that with partners, they toured the country educating people about mental well-being, causes of mental health issues, and encouraging them to access mental health services. The National Cybersecurity Authority has sensitized members of the private sector in Eastern Province on techniques to curb cybersecurity. Sandra Chuti with more.
Thank you. The training is part of the ongoing cybersecurity awareness campaign rolled out in the collaboration with different partners, including MTN Rwanda and Rwanda Investigation Bureau, among others. Ghislaine Kaidi, Chief of Cybersecurity Standards Officer at NCSA, say that they brought together members of the private sector as they are among segments of the population affected by cyber threats. She said technology helps us to access services easily, but the more it evolves, the more others take advantage of it unlawful acts. Fraudsters have been arrested at different times using various techniques to swindle or offend unwitting members of the public. National Cybersecurity Authority advised the general public to avoid sharing their passwords, protect their devices including laptops and mobile phones, and monitor how their children use technology. The Executive Secretary of Eastern Province, Dr. Jean Nyirahabimana, urged participants to be vigilant so that they can protect themselves and children against cyber threats.
The Rwanda Agriculture and Animal Resources Development Board has linked pests that are ravaging crops in Eastern Province to drought effects and lack of using well-decomposed manure. Farmers in Gatsibo district have reported over 400 hectares destroyed by pests named Mukondo Winyana. At least 8 sectors of the district have been affected. These include Ngarama, Murambi, Kabarore, Rwimbogo, Chiramuruzi, Gatsibo, Chiziguro, and Rugarama. Alphonsine Nzamwita, a farmer in Gatsibo district, said the pests are eating seeds that are germinating. They started from Gatsibo sector before spreading to other sectors. There is no single harvest wherever they attack. There is need for innovations before spreading to other areas. Bernard Udahemuka, who is in charge of agriculture in Gatsibo district, say that 403 hectares have so far been ravaged by the pest, adding that they wrote Rwanda Agriculture Board for interventions. Charles Buchagu, the Deputy Director General in charge of Agriculture Research and Technology Transfer at Rwanda Agriculture Board, say they are advising farmers to use well-decomposed manure and water their crops. They also advised farmers to collect these pests and spray them with rockets in prepared containers. Uchagu said that irrigation interventions are planned to intensify the fight against pests. He reiterated that the government will support with additional funds and promote maturing crops, including beans, vegetables, among others. The interventions, he added, that they also include fertilizers for farmers to boost production in watered marshlands and irrigation areas. We shall come back with economic news.
Economic news is a regular feature on Radio Imanzi.
Developing countries lose over $11 billion annually through illegal fishing, according to Financial Transparency Coalition. Sandra Chuti continues with more on this report.
Thank you, Fiona. According to Financial Transparency Coalition, FTC, the most affected region in West Africa, in which 40% of the global illegal fishing took place with a loss of up to $9.4 billion. West Africa has a quarter of its job dependent on fisheries. Fisheries provide livelihoods to over 820 million people worldwide, many of them are women. Overall global losses due to illegal fishing could be about $50 billion. The top 10 countries where illegal fishing vessels were detected between 2010 and 2022 include Indonesia, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Guinea, Taiwan, Guinea-Bissau, Somalia, Peru, Liberia, and Argentina. Although East Africa is not among the top regions with illegal unreported fishing, Rwanda Agriculture and Animal Resources Board, RAAB, says that the activities are still affecting fish production in Lake Kivu. The number of illegal fishing nets affects the legally captured production. The government of Rwanda has called on the fishing community to abide by measures proposed by regulators to sustain production. The use of mosquito nets to catch the fish on Lake Kivu has been banned because it destroys the future's population of small fish variety called isambaza, which is common on the lake. According to a report by the New Times, fish production on Lake Kivu decreased from 24,199 tons in 2017 to 2018 to 17,296 tons in 2018 to 2019, before plugging further to 16,194 tons in the 2019 to 2020 fiscal year. This was partly attributed to the use of illegal fishing gear. The 28% reduction means that about 7,000 tons of fish were lost due to illegal fishing. Back to you, Fiona.
Now the Rwanda Stock Exchange market report.
The trading session recorded a turnover of 682,005,910 worth of bonds traded in 5 deals on the fixed income market and 76,900 from 18,300 I&M Bank shares traded in 1 deal on the equities market. The equities counters closed with I&M Bank at 43 Rwandan francs, Bralirwa at 170 Rwandan francs, Bank of Kigali at 272 Rwandan francs, Simerwa at 120 Rwandan francs, MTN Rwanda at 175 Rwandan francs, Equity Bank at 440 Rwandan francs, Kenya Commercial Bank at 370 Rwandan francs, National Media Group at 1,200 Rwandan francs, Uchumi Supermarket at 104 Rwandan francs, and RH Buffalo closed the counter at 526 as the market closed.
The currency market review of today. Burundian franc buying price was 0.5 and the selling price was 0.51. Ugandan shilling buying price was 0.27 and the selling price was 0.272. Tanzanian shilling buying price was 0.44 and the selling price was 0.45. Kenyan shilling buying price was 8.5 and the selling price was 8.7. The euro buying price 1,044 Rwandan francs and the selling price 1,065. The British pound buying price 1,205 and the selling price was 1,229. US dollar buying price 1,037 and the selling price 1,058 Rwandan francs.
Yes, the Chinese city of Shanghai has started administering an inhalable COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine, a mist that is sucked in through the mouth, is being offered for free as a booster dose for previously vaccinated people, according to an announcement on an official city social media account. Scientists hope that such needle-free vaccines will make vaccination more accessible in countries with fragile health systems because they are easier to administer. They also may persuade people who don't like getting a shot in the arm to get inoculated. China wants more people to get booster shots before it relaxes strict pandemic restrictions that are holding back the economy and are increasingly out of sync with the rest of the world. As of mid-October, 90% of Chinese were fully vaccinated and 57% had received a booster shot. A video posted by an online Chinese state media outlet showed people at a community health center sticking the short nozzle of the translucent white cap into their mouth. The accompanying text said that after slowly inhaling, people hold their breath for 5 seconds, with the entire procedure completed in 20 seconds. These regulators approved the inhalable vaccine in September, but only as a booster shot after studies showed it triggered an immune system response in people who had previously received 2 shots of a different Chinese vaccine. According to the health expert, Dr. Vineta Bal, an immunologist in India, the vaccine taken as a mist could fend off the virus before it reaches the rest of the respiratory system.
Kenyan President William Ruto is openly pushing for the establishment of the East African Community Federation, endorsing an ambitious political formation that has been elusive and mostly avoided by his predecessors, but one that hopes to guarantee a big market for regional goods and services and ensure strategic security. A political federation is the ultimate pillar in the East African community integration process, preceded by the customs union, common market, and monetary union in that order. Ruto said the community is becoming even more tightly connected with infrastructure systems crisscrossing the member countries. The possibility of the East African Federation is no longer a wild imagination, according to him, or an idle dream. It is no longer a matter of if, it is a matter of when. He added that in the East African community, the rigid territorial borders are firmly on the way out as we move towards full integration. Non-tariff barriers have come down and trade volumes have soared. Namibia wants Germany back at the negotiating table to discuss the genocide agreement reached last year between the two governments. Technical committees of Namibia and Germany discussed the issue and proposed that amendments be made to the joint declaration in the form of an addendum which was submitted to the German government. Namibia's Vice President Bumba told a meeting of traditional leaders in the capital Windhoek today. Namibia now awaits a response from Germany. Germany acknowledged in May last year that it had committed genocide in the Southern African territory, which it colonized between 1884 and 1915. After over 5 years of negotiations, Germany offered about $1 billion in development aid spread over 30 years to benefit descendants of the Herero and Nama ethnic groups, stressing it will be paid on a voluntary basis and that the agreement was not comparable to reparations. Many Namibians reject the agreement, arguing that the descendants of the Herero and Nama had not been sufficiently involved in the talks. At least 60,000 Herero and about 10,000 Nama were killed between 1904 and 1908. Gambian lawmakers urged compensation for the families of 70 children who authorities believe may have died after taking a contaminated cough syrup imported from India. The special legislative session was held several weeks after the World Health Organization issued an alarm about 66 days off from acute kidney injury. Gambian authorities launched an urgent door-to-door campaign to confiscate any remaining bottles of the syrup. The toll has still risen by 4 more days. Assembly Minority Leader Alhagi S. Darbo said the government's investigation should also cover the culpability of the suspected importers and pharmacies linked to contaminated drugs. With that, we come to the end of tonight's edition.